Good morning, students. Today I am going to continue the remaining portion of Wildlife Conservation chapter. In the last class, we have learned about IUCN. Today we are going to see about the IUCN Species Survival Commission. What is this? It is a science-based network. It's a science-based network. It includes more than 7,500 volunteer experts from almost every country. Every country have representative to include in this network as volunteers. Such an organization, such a science-based network. Its vision, what is its vision? To create a world that values and conserves present levels of biodiversity. Such a world is their vision. What is the major role of this IUCN Species Survival Commission? It provides information to the IUCN about the biodiversity conservation. Which all species need to conserve, which all species need to give more importance. That type of information is providing by this Species Survival Commission to IUCN. And they give values to different species, and they recognizing the role of each species in ecosystem health and functioning. What is their role? What is the role of each species in the healthy functioning of ecosystem? That also is recognizing by this IUCN. And also it provide ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are mainly for the well-being of human, for his health and also for his livelihood. That also its main role. So that's about IUCN, some points. Next, according to a recent list bring out by IUCN, that list include 100 most endangered species of the planet. And in that list, some are included from India. Indian representatives are also present in that list of 100 most endangered species. They are white-bellied heroine, great Indian buzzard, the peacock, tarantula spider. Its coloration, you see how much beautiful this one. And the spoon-billed sandpiper. These are all the species included as endangered in the recently published list put out by the Species Survival Commission. And also in that list, these two species also included, Javan rhino and Sumatran rhino. Next, there is another organization concerned with wildlife protection and conservation, that is World Wildlife Fund. World Wildlife Fund, WWF, is established in 1969. Its headquarters is at Bombay. And what is its aim? To conserve, to educate, and also to conduct research. That's its aim. And which are the projects they handled? They are Andaman pig study. They underwent crane conservation project, crocodile breeding project, then ecological survey of Western Ghats, sloth bear project. All these projects are denoting that they are all concerned with the conservation or conserving a particular species. These are their projects. Then one more other organization associated with this is Wildlife Preservation Society of India. It is a voluntary. Voluntary means it is organizing, is functioning by its own. This organization have its own rules and regulations. So it's a voluntary organization. It is founded by wildlife lovers in Dehradun in 1958. All the years you have to by heart. Then the members of this organization includes the members from IUCN itself. What is its aim? To promote interest in wildlife and also imparts knowledge in the protection of wildlife, and also it helps or it cooperates the government intervention also in protecting the wildlife, and also it assists in enforcing wildlife protection act for protecting the biodiversity. Then also along all these things, they at the same time they promotes wildlife tourism, and it advises and helps the government and wildlife administrators with regard to information and what maintenance need to do, and also how to protect national parks and sanctuaries. Regarding all these, they provide advices and help to government and also to wildlife administrators. Next is Bombay Natural History Society, BNHS. What is this Bombay Natural History Society? It is a non-government body founded in 1883. Again, that year you need to learn by heart to memorize. And what is its objectives? To collect informations and specimens of fauna and flora throughout India, Burma and Ceylon. From all these three countries, this organization is collecting information and also collecting specimens of fauna and flora. Another objective is that to conserve nature through publications of articles and also by publishing new reports on fauna and flora. By doing these two activities, they are conserving the nature. Okay, that is Bombay Natural History Society, BNHS. Next, we are going to see Indian Board for Wildlife, IBWL, India Board for Wildlife. It is founded in 1952. What is its mode of action? It has a bird wing and also a zoo wing. Bird wing is concerned to protect and preserve birds, and zoo wing is for preserving animals. And also they develop zoological gardens and parks in the country for conserving the biodiversity. Which are the main functions of this India Board for Wildlife? They help to set up national parks, sanctuaries and zoological garden. That is its prime function. And also they protect the wildlife. How? Through coordinated legislature and practical measures. They adopt both these measures. And they declare which species need to be protected and which species indiscriminate killing need to stop. All these things they are declaring. And also it promotes public interest in wildlife for mainly to conserve the wildlife, and that too in a harmonious way with human environment, because that conservation should go in harmony with the human environment without interrupting human environment. At the same time need to conserve, at the same time conserving the wildlife. And also its main function is to prevent the cruelty to bees and birds that caught alive. Which are the this is the another function. Then also it advises the government to take suitable policies with respect to living animals, trophies, skins, ivory and other wildlife products. With regarding to all these commodities, it will advise government to take what policies to regarding which one's trade need to be supported. Such type of aspects, in such type of aspects, it give advices to the government. Next, State Boards for Wildlife, SBWL. Its scope means how it is extended. Because what about its scope? Its range up to where it constituted in all states in India. All states in India have the State Board for Wildlife. What is its function? Its function is almost same that as that of IBWL. It also enforces legislation for what? To protect poaching and illegal killing of game birds and other animals. Game birds and other animals. It's illegal killing and poaching that to be prevent through legislation. And also another important thing under their function is that to celebrate a wildlife week, and that too in the first week of October every year. That is another action under State Boards for Wildlife. That's done for to educate people about wildlife and its importance and the need to conserve all those things. The National Wildlife Action Plan, NWAP. It is constituted in 1983. What is its aim? Aim is to increase the present coverage of protected area, that is 3% to 4%. That is to increase the extent or area of protected area from 3% to 4%. That is its aim. This we finish all the organizations. Then we are going to some other organization dealing with this nature conservation. That are sites. First is sites. Sites, what is this? Expansion. Convention on International Trading Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. As is expanded explanation, this Convention on International Trading Endangered Species. It is an international agreement. It is an agreement between governments from different countries. It is an international agreement. That's important thing. What is the aim? To ensure international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants. Listen here. It supports the trade of specimens, but at the same time need to confirm that plant or wild animals are not in a threat. By keeping that in mind, they are supporting the trade of specimens. That's it. Which are the commodities usually on trade? Food products, living plants, animals, exotic leather goods, then wooden musical instruments, all these things, and then touristic curios. Touristic curios means all those things we means can develop, manufactured to attract the tourist. All those things comes under this tourist curios. Next slide. How the site originated. It is drafted, it is constituted as a result of a resolution that adopted in 1963 at a meeting of members of IUCN. 1963, IUCN members convened a meeting. In that meeting, they prepared a draft, a resolution that cites. And in that resolution, it is that resolution is agreed by representatives of 80 countries, and that convention took place in Washington DC, United States of America, on which date? On 3rd March 1973. And that agreement came into force, that draft, that resolution came into force on 1st July of 1975. and it is translated to many languages like Chinese, English, French, Russian and Spanish. And associated with this site, another term we need to familiarize is parties. What are these parties? Parties means the nations that are following the terms and conditions of this convention that become the parties in these sites. Means which all nations is following or agreeing the terms and conditions of this convention. Those nations are parties of these sites. Then now presently sites have 176 parties. That means it has representatives because this sites is followed or observed by 176 countries. Then licensing system, and also they are providing a license for exporting or importing, re-exporting all these specimen items. They are giving license, and without the license it's not possible to export or export any of the items that is mentioned under that convention. Then the main achievement of success of these sites is that it can gain cooperation from many countries, and also it gave protection to more than 30,000 species of animals and plants along with their controlled trade. At the same time they are protecting this much species, and also at the same time they are conducting the trade with regarding to various commodities, various articles, various goods associated with this animals plants without threatening its existence. That is the achievement. Then we are moving to green environment. What do you mean by green environment? Green means it's a sum total of all efforts to reduce impact of modern human life on natural world. It is the sum total of all efforts we are giving or doing to reduce the impact of modern human life on our natural world. That is green. And then what is green environment? Green environment means it's an approach, ecologically friendly approach in any sphere of human activity. Wherever human activities is going on, there all those activities should be carried out in a ecologically friendly manner. Such an approach is called green environment. That approach. There are some tips for attaining this greener environment. They are reuse. We need to reuse whatever items possible. For example, water bottles we can reuse, cardboard boxes we can reuse, shopping bags, magazines, etc. All those things we can reuse. And also, if it is possible, it's better to carry a washable coffee mug along with us in our travels to avoid buying any plastic, glass or any such sort of things. Then recycle is another tip to attain green environment. Recycle means whatever thing we can recycle after use, we need to recycle it. Example, plastic cover, paper products like food packages, newspapers, tissues, cardboards, paper plates, all those things we can recycle. Next tip is to use of durable shopping bags. We need to use shopping bags which are more strong and sustainable. By using such type of bag, we can avoid buying shopping bag each and every at time of our shopping. So we need to use durable shopping bags. Reduce food wastage, and also next tip is that we should avoid wastage of food. What is the relation of wasting food with relating to attaining green environment? Because as we waste food, it accumulates and it results in a huge emission of greenhouse gas like methane. So in that way, it is hampering the attaining green environment. So we need to curtail down the food wastage. Next tip is to use unbleached products. Many of our household utilities like paper towels, toilet paper, coffee filters, the diapers, etc. During their manufacture, it is bleached before making it into its final form. So during this bleaching process, a toxin is releasing to the atmosphere. They are called dioxins. These dioxins are highly toxic and they may get accumulated in water and later may get into the body of animals and plants. So it's not desirable. So we always need to prefer unbleached products. And next tip is to use minimum packaging. Also, during our shopping time, we need to give more preference to products that are having minimum package, and also that too, if it is of recyclable packaging, then it is more better. Then next tip is to use rechargeable batteries. Instead of using single time use batteries, better to use rechargeable batteries. And next tip, use a shared car service. Instead of trying to own an own car, it's better to prefer shared car services and also to depend public transport more oftenly. Green computing means something relating with the use of computer. We need to set up sleep mode. Sleep mode means if we are not using the computer for a small for a certain amount of time, then it will move to sleep mode. That will save energy. And avoid use of screen savers. Using more graphical screen savers will also waste so much amount of energy. And also always remember to shut down the computer when we are not using the computer, because if we kept our computer working for a long time, the whole day, then it will lead to the release of enormous amount of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and it can increase the global warming. Then green economy. Green economy means we need to achieve economic improvement along with reducing environmental risk like carbon emissions and to increase resource efficiency. At the same time, supporting the environment, we need to raise the economy. That is green economy. Economy should increase. At the same time, we need to conserve the environment. That is green economy. Then there's another organization, that is Greenpeace. What is Greenpeace? It is also a non-governmental environmental organization, and it has offices over 40 countries. In 40 countries, it has offices. It has an international coordinating body. Internationally, a coordinating body also there for controlling all these offices, and it is on Amsterdam of Netherlands. How this Greenpeace came into origin? First, it took place as a Don't Make a Wave Committee. It is an anti-nuclear organization in 1970 against nuclear bomb experiments, to prevent the unnecessary use or experiments with this nuclear bomb. To prevent such actions, this committee came into origin. It first originated with the name that Don't Make a Wave Committee, and its main objective is to halt or to stop further underground nuclear testing by US in the National Wildlife Refuge at Amchitka in Alaska. Its main objective is that to stop the nuclear testing by US, mainly at Amchitka in Alaska. This Don't Make a Wave Committee later then renamed as Greenpeace. Understand? In this way, it came into origin. This is primary goal. to ensure the ability of Earth to nurture life in all its diversity. Its primary goal is to maintain or to confirm that the Earth has the ability to what? Ability to nurture all life. In what form? With all its diversity. It should able to nurture the whole life. And which all the issues they are considering, which all problems they is scattering with this Greenpeace. They are taking the cases of global warming, deforestation, overfishing, commercial whaling, and anti-nuclear issues. What are its features? Greenpeace. It is not taking any type of fund from government or corporations or political party. It only rely on 2.8 million individual supporters and foundation grants. Depending on this mode of money, they are functioning. This then regarding its international attention, in its initial phase of its origin, it didn't have that much publicity. So in later 1980s, what happened? There's a big boat named Rainbow Warrior, and to this where it is actually anchored in Auckland's Waitemata Harbour. This harbour it is anchored, and French intelligence agency uh, put a bomb in that ship, and that result the death of one person. And after that incident, the Greenpeace get more popularity, and it turned to a visible environmental organization. What about its mode of action? It brings all the environmental issues to public knowledge. Somehow it brought out the environmental issues to public knowledge through one or another type of way. And also it influenced both public and private sectors about the issues. It is a non-violent mode of action. Its action is without any type of violence. They are coming. They are arriving at the site of crime, and they assemble public to the site of crime and inform the public, and also generate interest, and also they make an awareness among the public relating with that issue, or that crime that have done to the environment. So their main objective is to create awareness about the consequences. That too with the help of media. With the help of media, their main objective is to create awareness about what consequences may come out of such a crime. That's its main objective. Which are its milestone achievements? Stopping the atmospheric and underwater testing of nuclear weapons by France. France further nuclear weapons testing under the water. That actions can be stopped by this Greenpeace. Whaling, hunting of whale also can be stopped by the intervention of this Greenpeace. And also the killing of Newfoundland harp seal pups for its fur, that also can be stopped by the intervention of this Greenpeace. And also stoppage of dumping toxic and nuclear waste in Europe's North and Mediterranean Sea. A dumping of toxic and nuclear waste where? In Europe's North and Mediterranean Sea. Here it is missing. So that dumping also can stop by the intervention of the Greenpeace. Then we are moving to protected areas. What is meant by protected area? A definition. Protected area means it is a clearly defined geographical space. Clearly defined geographical space, and that space is recognized and also dedicated and managed. How they are managed? Through legal or other effective means. So, to set up a defined geographical space. And to achieve why we are clearly defining such a geographical space, the purpose is to achieve a long-term conservation. By doing this, we can conserve the nature, and not this nature only, but at the same time, what all biodiversity, what all ecosystem services and cultural values associated with it, that also get protected or conserved by setting up this clearly defined geographical space. Its definition and its protection, all those things are done through legal and other effective means. This is about protected area. Protected area means such type of defined geographical space, and the objective of defining such geographical space is that to give long-term conservation of nature with associated ecosystem services and cultural values. Then we are moving to different categories of protected areas. Which are the different categories? Category 1A. It is a strict nature reserve. Here, only light human use is allowed in that area. In that area, category 1A means strict nature reserve. In that area, the area that is designed as strict nature reserve, there only light human use is allowed. And also at the same time, even if allowing light human use, at the same time protecting all geological and geomorphological features and biodiversity of that place. At the same time, allowing or permitting light human use, there is provision to protect all geological or geomorphological features and biodiversity of that area. Then category 1B. 1B, it is called wilderness area. Wilderness area. What's a peculiarity? It is a larger area. And also the protection, that nature of protection regulation is less stringent. It's not that much strict when compared to the other one. Other one means that strict nature reserves. When compared with the strict nature reserves, its legislation, its protection, its rules are less stringent. Then category 2, that is national parks. National parks means its characteristics is somewhat similar to wilderness area, and here the human visitation is permitted. It contributes to local economy. How local economy is supplemented? Through educational and recreational tourism. Through educational visit and also recreational tourism, through those way, the economy can also be increased. And by doing all these things at the same time, it is not hindering or disturbing the conservation effort of this area. Then category 3, that is natural monument. Monument mean itself indicates that it's not that much a large area. Small areas are protecting, to protect. Why small areas are protecting? To protect a rare natural monument, a rare plant piece or rare animal species. For protecting that one, it's need to protect a smaller area. That protected area comes under natural monuments. So an example, this tree is a natural monument you have seen in Polish forest. So for protecting this, a small area only considering along seen associated with this big tree. That is natural monuments. Then category 4, that is habitat or species management area. That means specific areas of conservation are decided. With regard to what aspect? In relation to an identifiable species or habitat. Because first we are identifying a species and understand that that species need to be conserved. And for conserving that species, we need to conserve some specific area. That type of conservation comes under this category 4, that is habitat or species management area. Example, Galapagos Island. Galapagos Island, their Darwin's finches are there protecting them. And also those species, that identified species in that small area, they also deserves continuous protection. So that also important. Then category 5, that is protected landscape or seascape. It's an entire body of land or ocean, and how you have a clear management plan for its conservation. That area have a clear management plan for its conservation, and it requires high level of interaction with the surrounding community. At the same time, for conserving that area, it requires high level of interaction with interaction with the surrounding communities. For what? For protecting and sustaining that area, and also is associated nature conservation and other values. For conserving all these things, it requires high level of interaction with its surrounding communities. Then category 6 means protected areas with the sustainable use of natural resources. That is category 6. Total area of India. If we consider the total area, in the total area 5% comes under the category 6. And it includes biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, reserve forests, protected areas and private protected areas. An example is the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. With this, we finish today's class. Thank you.